Welcome to this live stream. And in this live stream, I'm going to be talking about the true up. If you have solar on your rooftop and you're receiving a true up, and oh, hold on just 1 second. I'm trying to go live on Instagram and let's see, play this. Oh, I want to not do this. Okay. So this is, let's see. Ooh, in that live video. We'll figure that out. Sorry about that. So let's start over. I'm Jamie Green, the Solar Queen, and in this live stream, I'm going to be talking about the true up situation if you have solar. So I have been meeting with a lot of homeowners uh, recently that are experiencing true ups, and there's a couple of reasons why that would be happening. The first reason is that they got solar under the original NEM with PG&E or SCE or SCGE. If you got solar 10, 15, 20 years ago, you likely didn't get enough solar on your rooftop. And here is another challenge with oh geez. Okay. Here's a sorry about that, guys. I was trying to live stream to Instagram because it's a new feature with my streaming software. We'll have to figure it out because it says to keep the tab open. Sorry, so sorry about that. But the information I'm going to be sharing today is super, super important. And if you're watching live on YouTube, thanks so much for watching. Make sure to say hello. And if you are new to the channel, subscribe. If you're watching live on LinkedIn, I think it's Twitter and Facebook. If you have any questions about true ups, put them in the questions or comments and I'll answer them here on this live stream. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, I am going to talk about true ups. So true ups are what happens when you have solar on your rooftop and you're using more energy than that solar system is producing for you. So right now it's sunny. It's a little overcast outside right now. My solar system is generating energy. If everyone was home and we were doing the laundry and running all of the appliances in the home and I was charging the car and everything, we would be out using our solar production at this very moment in time. If this happens throughout the year and we don't have enough solar panels on our house because one, we got solar under NEM 1.0, or we even got solar under NEM 2.0, but we're using more energy or we're being a little loose in our energy consumption, meaning I'm running the air conditioning a lot longer during the summertime, or I'm leaving all the lights on and I just don't care. Or maybe it's cold right now and space heaters are the energy vampires of homes. So if you are using more energy than your solar system is designed to use or generate for you over an entire calendar year, you may end up with a true up. If you got solar under NEM 1.0, which is the original solar net metering agreement, there are people that are coming up, like their NEM 1.0 agreement with the utility companies are expiring. So what this is going to result in is they've probably always had a true up. And it is what it is. They can't do anything about it unless they added more solar under NEM 2.0. That would have been ideal. But in most cases, they probably didn't. And I've been talking with homeowners who are currently solar powered under NEM, and they're now going, oh my gosh, my true up used to be reasonable. I used to be able, it was fine. It was what it was. Because back then, when solar was installed under NEM 1.0, we'll use that term for now. The goal or the purpose of solar under NEM 1.0 was to do something called tier shaving. So back in the day, utility companies, and some of you are still on this utility rate. Some of you guys used to just, you'd be in tier one and then tier two. And then there was a tier three and a tier four. And the utility companies got smart about it. But back back 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and even 20 years ago, there was tiered billing. And tiered billing was simply how much energy did you use in a calendar month? And you would be given a certain amount of a baseline, and that was tier one. And that was really, really cheap. I'm talking like probably back in the day, 8 cents, 5 cents a kilowatt hour. And some of you who live in other parts of the country other than California are still paying those rates. And that is very, very affordable. And it wouldn't make financial sense for you guys to go solar quite yet. When tier one, tier one was like the baseline, 300 to 500 kilowatt hours is typically what I would see. Once it would go over that baseline, you would go into tier two and you would pay a little bit more. So tier two would cover you for about 1,000 kilowatt hours. And then if you went over the 1,000 kilowatt hours, you would go into tier three or tier four. But they did away with tier three and tier four a few years back and went to high surcharge. They got that approved through the CPUC, and high surcharge, it was whatever was left for the rest of the month, they would pay a premium for that energy. So let's break it down into 4 weeks in the calendar month. First, let's say you blow through the 300 kilowatt hours in the first week. Well, that's tier one. Tier two would say you only used 500 kilowatt hours in tier two for the rest of the month. That would be 800 kilowatt hours. And so what people would do is get solar panels put on their house to only cover tier two or to tier shave. And then they would pay the utility company the true up of just the tier one rates because they were super affordable. So that was kind of the theory and the logic back in the day when solar was first being sold to, homeowners. And it was a lot more expensive back then than it is now. The cost of solar equipment and solar panels and even batteries and all of that, they are coming down in price in terms of putting solar on a rooftop. So back then it was really expensive. And so it was kind of like, well, we'll just shave off tier two. You'll stay in tier one. You'll pay those rates and all is good. Well, as we as homeowners and consumers start adding things like air conditioning because it's hotter than it used to be, and people to this day still don't have air conditioning in parts of California, and they're starting to add air conditioning. Or one of the things that is happening now is people are moving away from natural gas, which is going to be a state mandate in a very short time frame, like in 3 years. They're going to start phasing out natural gas appliances when you have to replace them. So, our water heater is a gas water heater. It used to be one of those big 50-gallon tanks. We replaced it last year because it stopped working. And so we replaced it with a tankless gas water heater. In a couple of years, like 2027, 2029, for homeowners who are replacing these gas-powered, gas-heated appliances, they're no longer going to be able to buy those. You're going to have to go electric. So all of this means is that people are going to be using more electricity. So if you have solar under NEM 1 or even NEM 2 and perhaps NEM 3, you are going to have a true up when you convert those appliances from gas to electric because it's a mandate. It's going to be a mandate. Just like starting in I think it's 2035, there's going to be you have to buy an EV or hybrid for brand new cars beginning in 2035. Well, you're going to have to charge them somewhere. And most people are going to want to try and charge it at home. Well, the rates are going to be really expensive then. So I tell you that because when you get solar now under NEM 3.0, you want to make sure you get enough energy, enough solar and storage to carry you through. For people under NEM 1.0, so we're going to go back to NEM 1, they have always paid true ups. Like most people did not get solar under NEM 1 and not ever have a true up. And that was fine when rates were 8 and 10 cents a kilowatt hour, but now they're 35 cents plus, like greater than 35 cents based on your billing time of use. If you're on an all electric rate plan, but don't have solar, or you might still be on the tiered billing system, but your tiered rates are in the 30-cent range for all three utility companies. So what's happening is homeowners are reaching out and saying, this is what's going on. I want to add more solar. And the issue will be is that they're going to have to forego their original NEM agreement and add more solar and storage and then go into NEM 3.0. So hello, Mike on YouTube. How is the weather there in Florida? It is like 50 degrees and cold here in California, and I don't like it. But guys, even for myself, I know the gas prices in California have gone up. So it's just me at the house during the day. And I just, I don't even use my furnace. I just bundle up because I don't want to pay $300 a month for gas. I mean, I don't even know. It's the first month turning on the furnace. Yeah. So windy and cool. Well, someone posted on Instagram yesterday that they were in San Diego and they weren't wearing a shirt. And he goes, and this is why I choose to live in San Diego. Okay. So for people under NEM, and I want to show you, I'm going to share a true up. There's no homeowners information on here, but this is an actual bill. And I'm not going to scroll or anything because I don't want to disclose information about this homeowner, but this is realistic. And this is a reality for this homeowner. It's very, it's crazy. Okay. So you can see the NEM charges right here, January to October. This is, he's on NEM 1.0. He has a lot of solar panels on his rooftop and he needs more. The challenge for some are going to be that these systems are old systems. This is a 13-year-old system that he has on his rooftop, and this is what's happening right now. So 10 months out of the year, he's already at 18,000 kilowatt hours. His true up bill when December, when he trues up, it's going to be way more. It's probably going to be closer to 20,000 kilowatt hours. And 20,000, I think his average rate is 37 cents a kilowatt hour. So if we go 37 cents times 20,000 kilowatt hours, he's going to have like a $7,400 utility true up with PG&E. So that is a lot of money. It's a lot of money for me. And I think a lot of money for anybody who would be excited to pay this true up. I hope, the thing is I really hope that if you are under NEM 1 or if you're under NEM 2 and you are logging into your PG&E or SCE or SDGE account and you're seeing where your true up is at, you really want to set aside the money over time so that you're prepared to pay for this. Here's the kicker. So I'm gonna share. I'm gonna remove this from here. I'm gonna share a headline really quickly. So stop sharing that, and I'm gonna share a different screen because if you don't know, PG&E rates. Here's I put into Google, PG&E rates are going to be increasing. So my husband sent me an article yesterday and it talked about how much you could pay. The rate increase is going to be 13%. 13%. That's significant. So for the homeowner that has the true up bill of $7,400, if he doesn't do something and add more solar panels to his house, and for this family, this homeowner, it literally will be solar panels on every roof plane available that can house solar while also removing the existing solar system, which sounds a little crazy, but his solar panels from 13 years ago are like 265 watt panels. That's not terrible, but that's a lot of surface space to generate. He would be better off starting over which is what we're discussing right now. So 20,000 kilowatt hours. Well, let's do this. Actually, I'm going to share my calculator. Stop sharing that. And thanks for bearing with me, guys, as I go in and share things with you. Because my intention for homeowners who are watching this on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, is that you learn like what it is that you have, how it's going to affect you if you have a true up, and give you ideas or things to think about when it comes to your existing solar system and what happens if you added more solar. Because the way that the NEM 3.0 thing is now is you have to you get switched over to NEM 3.0. So then we need to really assess your home and what's going on. So if we do 37 cents, because that was the average rate for all of his energy, that homeowner's energy, and we multiply it by 13%, that's we'll round it up, 5 cents. Well, we'll just do this, 0.048. So 5 cents a kilowatt hour times, adding it to 37 cents. I think that's right. Should be 41. Yeah, 40. So call it 42 cents, okay? 42 cents. And this is if he does nothing and goes another year, doesn't change his energy usage. He said he's willing to make a little slight changes, but he's not really able to. But so 20,000 kilowatt hours times, we called it 42 cents. His true up bill is going to go up $1,000 if he doesn't do anything and just stays with what he has now. So it's significant. It's a significant change. So this is where then you have to think and ask yourself as a homeowner who has existing solar panels on your rooftop, does it make financial sense to add more solar and a battery? Because you want to stop the bleeding. Like those utility bills are only going to, that true up's only going to get more and more and more expensive over time. 13% rate increases. I think there was a headline there. There was a headline there that said it could have been more. Isn't that crazy? Like it could have been more. It could have, oh yeah, here it is. PG&E rates will rise 13% in 2024, but it could have been worse. Yeah. So I think that they were looking at like 23% rate increase, which is ridiculous. So true up bills are a real thing for everyone under NEM 1.0. True up bills for people who have NEM 2.0 is not as common, but I still see it. It still happens. But some of the things, with NEM 2.0 is, you still are banking your excess energy that's generated in the summertime and you're using it during the wintertime. That's what we're doing right now. We have accumulated kilowatt hours throughout the year. And now we're in the wintertime. The wintertime production, no matter what, like you couldn't even oversize it if you wanted it to. The sizing limitations under NEM 3.0 now is 150% offset. So for that homeowner that was using 20,000 kilowatt hours plus the energy that his system is generating for him, he can only go 50% more, but he's not even going to be able to do that because he doesn't have enough roof space. But if you were to have that, you definitely would not generate enough power in the wintertime months to offset, to not have a true up bill in the wintertime. And the 4 winter months that you will see a true up bill for most people in Northern California and even Southern California is going to be November to February. It's a given. Like I will show you guys. I always like to pull out my my app because I have solar, I have a battery, I have the things. So I am an adopter of solar energy. Okay, so for our usage is, and most everybody's usage in the wintertime is way more way more than what the solar system's going to generate for them. So if you add solar panels, or even if you get solar in under NEM 3.0 and you're brand new to solar, Okay, so that is our usage. Sorry, this is our production for this year. It's kind of cool because I can show you guys. I can show you guys. Oh, look at that is one system for 5 years, coming up on 5 years. But we, on average, I would say probably use around 300 kilowatt hours a month, maybe more because we have the car. But we we probably actually use more like 500 kilowatt hours a month, because this is only reflective of one of our solar systems. But if let's pretend it's 300 kilowatt hours, you can see that in January and February, and parts of October, but November and December, if we were under NEM 3.0, we would have a true up. And the true up is whatever the solar system doesn't produce for you and you're consuming more energy, you're going to have a true up. And it varies, it just depends on what you're using. Where I see people getting true ups, though, right now is because it's cold and they're using space heaters, and maybe they're using multiple. And those space heaters, while they're fine, you can use them for an hour or two. I would not recommend using them all the time unless you do a cost analysis and be like, well, what's better? Using a space heater and paying the electricity rates for it, or running the gas furnace. You kind of have to wonder about that, or ask yourself that question. What's more affordable, or what's the least expensive heating source? Especially if you live somewhere cold, and it's getting cold, and we're going to have a storm come through. So we'll see what happens there. But that is the number one thing that I see happening recently in the last couple of years is people use space heaters in the wintertime. And the only way I know that right away looking at their energy usage chart is because there's huge uptick of energy consumption in the wintertime. So that would cause, if you have solar and you never used those space heaters before and you got solar system and you had it sized appropriately, you would probably experience a small true up. The other thing is electric cars. People are starting to buy electric cars. They're starting to buy hybrid plugins. And so that matters. If you drive a lot and you're charging from home, you're going to use way more energy than your system was designed to produce. If you're, so going back to the whole true up charges are as simple as this. And I probably should have said this at the very, very beginning. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. The thing is the difference that the consumption versus the production of your solar system. If you are consuming more than your solar system is producing or was ever designed to produce, and I say that because there is a limitation. Your solar system can only generate so much energy for you. If it's generating power for you, and you go on to your utility, online utility portal, and you're checking, your consumption and you're checking your monitoring, and it's producing for you, then it's just a matter of you're using more power than you did when you got solar to begin with. And that is usually the case. It's very rare that there is an equipment failure. Very, very rare. There's very little maintenance when it comes to solar equipment and your solar system. It's why it's really important to check your monitoring and your monitoring apps and make sure your system is working for you. I've seen in the past, the comms go down on the inverters. And so then it's not communicating with your app and reporting your production. But you can always check your utility bill. And if you see a huge spike in usage and you're not seeing production on your app, then you need to call your installer, or if you worked with me, you're going to call me and say, Jamie, my system's seemingly not producing. Can you check into this? I'm happy to do that for you. Or you just call your installer's customer service line and report it so that they can get someone out there and get your system back up and running. Let's see. Mike says, I met a guy that has his AC at 68, but uses space heaters for his 2 kids' room. Yeah, people want to keep their kids warm at nighttime. And yeah, that's my okay, our furnace is down at 60 degrees at nighttime. So if the furnace kicks in and it's 60 degrees, the thermostat sorry, if the heat kicks in at 60 degrees, I know it's really cold outside. But our kids have never complained that it's too cold. In fact, my kids will wear shorts and a t-shirt and it's cold, and so I refuse to turn on the heater when they're doing that. So just bundle up. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. So true ups are a real issue. And as you could see on that example, it was pretty extreme. I would say on average, I see true ups being about $2,000 to $3,000. And where it becomes, where it becomes a point of, do I look into adding more solar, and whether or not giving up the rest of the NEM 1.0 to forego that and go with NEM 3.0, it has to be pretty significant because you're adding storage. So, Mike says $700 energy. Yeah, the guy needs to go solar. That's all I have to say about that. I want so since we're talking about this, everyone's feeling the pain of inflation. We're all watching. Hopefully, we're not watching too much news, but we're watching the news, and we're seeing how interest rates, are trending higher. There's been a little bit of a dip in the mortgages right now, which is good, but generally speaking, the cost to borrow money is more expensive than it was a year ago, where it was 2 years ago. But there are different ways that you can pay for your solar system. It does not always have to be through purchasing it with a solar loan. That's an option. It's not your only option. You can lease it. You can take out a home equity line of credit. If you have one already and there's enough in there, you can do that. You can pay cash. You can go to your credit union and secure a solar loan through them. I would say just make sure that you check what the criteria is if you go out and get third-party lending, and ask them what they do in terms of a lien. Is it against the home? Is it against the equipment? Every solar loan that installers use, they for that I'm aware of, there's a UCC1 lien against the equipment if there's a default in payment. So you don't want to have any defaults in your payments, because they may come and take your solar panels and stuff. And there is a guy, I don't remember his name, but he does do some repossessions, and so it does happen. Not very frequently, I don't think, but it can happen. So there are ways to, you can take out a loan, you can lease the system. I've been seeing a lot of leases happening now more recently, and they're not always going. For me, I have 0% escalator leases available. So that just means you're having a fixed monthly payment rather than a 2.5 or a 3.5 rate escalator every single year. So that is an option too. I want you guys to know you have options. So paying for solar, for some people, the goal might be to just break even for now, because that's what's kind of happening with solar plus batteries, depending on the battery you get. If you get solar with a self-consumption battery, they are going to be less expensive batteries, but they are going to not provide you backup power in the event of a power outage. So if having that extra layer of peace of mind that if your power goes out, that you have backup power to your backup loads, then I would say go with the full backup and self-consumption batteries. If you are like, I don't ever have power outages, I just want to have the self-consumption batteries, then get the solar with the self-consumption batteries. And a lot of leases, if you lease the system, it will have a 25-year battery warranty. So that is one of those benefits of the lease. I mean, I'm seeing more benefits in leasing than I am in purchasing, but there are still people that, nope, I want to purchase. I want to purchase. I want to take the tax credit. I want to do this. And that is perfectly okay. It is totally, if you are a homeowner looking into solar, it is totally okay to do it how you want to do it. I will tell you what the pros and cons are, but it is your system at the end of the day if you purchase it. So you do it how you want to do it. I just want to make sure that everyone who gets solar under NEM 3.0 firstly gets enough solar. and enough storage. You're going to have true ups in the wintertime months, maybe 3 months out of the year. And those are in the wintertime when solar production drops off because the sun goes down later or earlier in the day. The good news is we're coming up against I guess we're going into the winter equinox soon. So that just means our days are going to start getting longer. And in Northern California, where I live, we start, the highest producing months are, May, June, July, August. And so, well, actually May, June, July. And then August is pretty good. September's, as you guys saw on the solar production. Here, I'll pull up my Tesla one because that one is, that's my second system. So let's go to the year view. Oh, look at that. That's our solar production. And it breaks it down into how much goes to the home, how much went in the power wall, and how much we overproduce. We oversized it because I knew we weren't adding any more solar. And so if we do get a heat pump, or if we get a second EV, or if we get a hot tub, we have plenty of power. We were able to do this under NEM 2.0. But you can see that the solar production drops off tremendously in December, January, February. So that's if you're under NEM 3.0, you're going to have a monthly true up, and that is just something you have to accept. And it is what it is. But everything else, you'll be covered with solar and a backup battery, and you're going to overproduce in the summertime. It's inevitable. I wouldn't recommend getting just solar and no battery. I really think that you have to get a battery with your solar system under NEM 3.0. So I hope that this was helpful. It was a little bit of a different angle when it comes to your true ups, but everyone in NEM, the original NEM, if you were an early solar adopter 20 years ago, that's awesome. Your net metering agreement is going to be coming up, like expiring soon. So here's the thing that you're going to be thinking about, just so we can think logically here. You will likely, if you lease the system, the lease may come off, and I would say take it off. You may be looking at needing to replace your roof. That's a possibility. The other thing is you may need to upgrade. If you live in an older home, you may need to upgrade your service line. So these are some things that you may be considering needing to do when your original NEM agreement expires. If you just go, you know what, I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to pay the true up because I have 3 more years of net metering 1.0. It is what it is. But when you have that system, when the NEM agreement is over, your solar system, if you decide to leave it there, that's fine. But your true up, your true up's still going to be increasing. But you probably have solar panels that might be 150 watts, 180 watts, 200 watts. You can have it removed and have solar and a battery, and you're going to have probably a smaller solar system or number of solar panels on your rooftop than what is on there right now. But you're going to have to consider that going forward if you have an older system on your rooftop, especially if it's shingle roofs. Cement tile roofs, they last a lot longer. So I'm not so concerned about your roof condition there. You'll be fine if you add more solar to your house. And if you live in a smaller home with a smaller main service panel, you need enough backfeed in your panel and your bus bar to be able to house solar and storage. So that's where the main panel upgrades may take effect or may be required. If you have a home with a 200 amp service panel, you may be able to get away with derating it. Of course, the solar installers and their electrical engineers are going to be able to tell you that, confirm that for sure in their drawings and everything once you've signed to go solar. But when you work with me, we'll discuss that, what may be required for you to add more solar, take off the entire solar system, start fresh with a new solar system that has 385 to 425, 440 watt panels on your home, especially if it's your forever home. So I hope that this live stream was helpful for you guys. If you're interested in a solar consultation for your home, please go to my website, jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com. There's a little video on there and some forms that you would fill out. Uh, and you will want to download your interval data, your hourly interval data from your utility company and have that ready or email it to me, which you can also email here, jamie@jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com, because that's going to tell us how much energy you use from like sundown to sunrise, right? So in the wintertime, it's 4 p.m., 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m., where solar production drops off till 9 o'clock in the morning the next day. So I want to look and see how much energy you're using during that time frame. We will talk about what you can shift to the daytime during the sun production. If you work from home, if people are in the home, or if everyone's gone at school and at work, we want to make sure that we place panels on your rooftop to optimize your when you're in the home and when you're not in the home. So this will all help when it comes to sizing the storage correctly and sizing your solar system correctly to reduce as much as possible your true up under NEM 3.0. So that's it. Happy Friday to you guys. I can't believe next week is Christmas. That's wild to me, but I hope you guys all have a great rest of your day. And please message me, send me an email if you have questions. Again, if you are interested in a solar proposal, whether it's a purchase or a lease, please reach out, jamiegreenthesolarqueen.com. And also, I'm going to just say this. Now is the best time to go solar. Like to go solar, start looking at it, signing the agreements, getting the site surveys done, and getting solar on your rooftop. I mean, if you live in places where you get snow, that's not going to happen when there's snow on the rooftop or it's freezing temperatures. But this is the best time. And the reason for it is that when summertime comes, you're producing solar energy and no longer having to pay the ridiculously expensive summertime rates and summertime bills. So that's it. Take care, guys. Sorry for that at the very beginning of the live stream when Instagram, I'm going to have to play around with that. But yeah, that's it. Take care. I'll see you guys in the next live stream. Bye-bye.